30 seconds. That's all it takes to decide if you win or lose. Most people think change takes years. That's a scam your brain sells you so you don't even try. The truth? It happens in seconds. In a single moment, you either break or break through. You felt this before. The test you almost failed, the moment you froze before speaking, the fight or flight panic where your brain screamed, "Run!" In those 30 seconds, your life could have gone one way or another. Psychologists know it too. The smallest pause can flip your entire nervous system from chaos to clarity, which means your brain already has a built-in reset button. So what's Tanjiro's secret, and will you use it? The secret wasn't strength. It wasn't speed. It was breathing. When life gets overwhelming, most of us do the opposite of what helps. We panic scroll TikTok. We raid the fridge. We pretend organizing our Google Drive counts as progress. It doesn't. Now, breathing won't give you a sword skill, but it might stop you from throwing your laptop out the window or yelling at your Wi-Fi router like it personally hates you. Tanjiro doesn't spiral. He slows everything down with total concentration breathing. 30 seconds of control turns fear into clarity. He survives not because he's the strongest, but because he masters the smallest action. Psychology calls this downshifting the nervous system. By controlling the breath, you tell your brain, we're safe. Stop panicking. In the fight with Rui, Tanjiro is shredded, cornered, exhausted. Instead of thrashing wildly, he inhales. Steady, deep, deliberate. Then he moves, calm in chaos. One breath, one strike. Compare that to Zenitsu. He panics, shrieks, spirals, until he finally faints and his instincts take over. That's funny in anime, but in real life, passing out from stress isn't a strategy. Tanjiro proves control beats collapse. Breath beats panic. Finals week, you open the test and it looks like hieroglyphics. Your chest tightens. Your brain screams, game over. But if you stop, inhale slowly, hold, and exhale longer than you inhaled, your shoulders drop. It's not impossible anymore. It's just hard. And hard you can handle. How about another one? Ever been stuck in traffic, late, and every red light feels personal? Try 3 rounds of steady breath. You won't teleport through cars, but you'll stop acting like honking is a superpower. That's the power of Tanjiro's breath. It's not about becoming superhuman, it's about reclaiming control when everything wants you to lose it. One breath, one strike, one choice, and that flips the battle. Here's how to steal Tanjiro's move. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold for 2. Exhale slowly through your mouth for 6. Repeat for 30 seconds. 3 rounds. That's your reset button. But here's the real question. How can something this simple actually change everything? And the answer isn't magic. It's biology. Your body loves to betray you. Sweaty palms before a job interview. Heart pounding like you just saw your ex with someone new. Brain screaming, we're doomed, when the only enemy is a blank Google Doc. Most of us face deadlines like Tanjiro faced Rui. Except Rui was scarier, and you're just afraid of Microsoft Word. Here's the truth. Your brain doesn't care if it's Rui's webs or tomorrow's deadline. Both trigger the same fight or flight alarm. But here's the hack. When you slow your breath and extend your exhale, you flip the switch. Harvard research shows that longer exhales activate the parasympathetic nervous system, your body's calm mode. Heart rate drops, cortisol lowers, focus sharpens. Tanjiro is trapped in Kyogi's spinning drum room. Floors shift, walls flip. Instant panic, but he inhales, steadies his lungs, exhales slow. And suddenly, the chaos doesn't stop, but he controls how he moves through it. This is why athletes breathe out before swinging, why speakers pause at the podium, why soldiers steady their lungs before pulling the trigger. They're not being dramatic. They're hacking biology. Even video gamers do it. Ever notice you exhale before a boss fight? Your body is trying to stabilize you before the big move. Ever try to sleep when your brain is replaying every embarrassing thing you've ever said since 4th grade? Your chest tightens, your heart pounds. 30 seconds of 4-2-6 breathing quiets the noise and tells your body it's safe to rest. It's basically a free melatonin button. So when Tanjiro breathes in the middle of chaos, it isn't anime exaggeration. It's science in motion. Proof that even if life spins, you can still find stillness. And from stillness comes clarity. Science explains why it works, but anime shows us how to use it. Every great action starts with one inhale. The hardest part isn't finishing, it's starting. Not the last rep, not the 10th page in notes, it's dragging yourself off the couch. It's cracking the book open. Most people lose before the fight even begins. You're not under attack by a demon, you're just under attack by your procrastination playlist. Psychologists call it activation energy, the tiny spark you need to start. One deep breath can light it. Inhale 4, hold 2, exhale 6. By the end of 3 cycles, 30 seconds, you've already tipped the scale from frozen to moving. Tanjiro faces the giant boulder. He fails again and again. But then, inhale, hold, exhale. One strike, then another, then another. Eventually, the impossible stone splits. Not because Tanjiro got magically stronger, but because one breath carried into 100. It's like typing one sentence. Suddenly, you're a paragraph deep, or stepping outside in running shoes. You thought you couldn't, but 5 minutes later, you're in stride. Flow always begins with one spark. Same with gaming. You put off logging in, but once you're in the lobby, 2 hours vanish. The breath is your login button for real life. Once you start, momentum keeps you moving. Breath works the same way. It pushes you past the hesitation barrier. Tanjiro proves greatness doesn't begin with some anime power-up. It begins with a single inhale. Breath becomes motion. Motion becomes rhythm. Rhythm becomes mastery. And without that first inhale, there is no story. Next time you're stuck, don't aim for an hour of work. Aim for 30 seconds. 3 rounds of 4-2-6. Then start. Flow will take care of the rest. Momentum changes what you do. But the real secret, these breaths change who you are. In the end, you're not shaped by the battles you fight, but by the breaths you take before them. Most people wait for the big moment to define them. The dream job, the transformation montage, the instant glow up. Spoiler, it doesn't come. You aren't forged in one scene. You're shaped in the invisible ones. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." For Tanjiro, it became dyed with the rhythm of his breathing. For you, it's the same. The small things you repeat are what you become. In episode 19's climax, Tanjiro is seconds from collapse. His body screams to quit, but he inhales, holds, exhales, slow and deliberate. That breath fuses water breathing with Hinakami Kagura. Not just a technique anymore, identity made visible. That wasn't survival, that was rebirth. Brushing your teeth. Nobody claps, nobody cheers, but stack 2 minutes a day for years and you avoid disaster. Small rituals, repeated, carve identity. Think about arguments too. If you breathe before snapping back, you're not just calming down. You're training yourself to be the kind of person who chooses response over reaction. Breath by breath, you're rehearsing the identity you want. Same with writing. 1 page a day doesn't feel epic, but a year later, you got a book. Breath is the same. It's a micro ritual that stacks into who you are. Tanjiro proves the person you want to be isn't born in the spotlight. It's forged in 30-second battles between panic and presence. Not years, not decades, just the breaths you repeat when no one is watching. Ask yourself, who do I want to be in the next 30 seconds? Then breathe like that person, because identity isn't what you claim, it's what you repeat. 30 seconds
One breath. That's all it takes to change everything or to stay stuck forever. We waste so much life waiting for motivation, waiting for the right time, waiting until we feel ready. But life doesn't wait, neither do demons, neither does your own self-doubt. The gap between who you are and who you could become is not years, it's 30 seconds. And the best part, you don't need equipment, you don't need a miracle morning routine, just lungs, a little focus, and the courage to actually use them. Tanjiro didn't win because he was the strongest. He won because when it mattered most, he chose to breathe. He found clarity in chaos and courage in a single inhale. That was his weapon. That was his edge. So here's your choice. Do you waste your next 30 seconds in distraction and excuses? Or do you take one breath, steady yourself, and move forward? Because whether you rise or whether you stay stuck, the next 30 seconds will decide. Take the breath or lose the battle.